What's up, everybody? Here I go again. I hope you all have been taking care of yourself and drinking your water, exercising, getting your rest, and getting good night's sleep, and just taking care of yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and eating well, eating healthy, well balanced meals. So I wanted to get on here and make this video. It's going to be a little bit of freestyle. You'll see me looking back and forth in my computer because I did take some notes, just so to help me stay on track and stay focused. What I want to talk about today is this thing where it seems like there's a certain generation of children who are canceling their parents. Is that what we're doing now, y'all? Is that what we're really doing? And I guess it just stems from the no contact. I'm going to call them the no contact generation. And there's many different reasons why. And let me just start off by saying this, put this disclaimer out there. Now, I am not condoning abuse from anyone of any kind. Let me just say that. But what I am going to talk about is this no contact thing that has seemed to taken off nowadays with children not contacting their parents, or, just not having communication or any type of contact with their parents. Now, one thing I will say, I know that there are some situations where that is necessary, but then there are a lot of situations and a lot of people that have jumped on this bandwagon where if they feel like their parents don't do what they want them to do, or they didn't get what they thought they should get growing up, or their parents don't say what they want them to say, then it's oh, you're toxic, oh, you're this, oh, you're narcissist, and all of these things. And I want to say this: we have to be careful with our words. We really do. Are there narcissistic parents? I'm pretty sure there are, but there's also narcissistic children as well. So we have to be wise. And if you're not in a place where you could really use that word as a diagnosis, I really think that we should be mindful of using that word, because sometimes it's just people's bad behaviors. It doesn't have to have a clinical term attached to it. And I also want to talk about this phrase that seems to be, gaining popularity. I did not ask to be here, which I think is I'm just going to keep it real. I feel like it's one of the dumbest, most narcissistic responses from children to parents. And it seems like it's meant to deflect from a child's disrespectful and selfish behaviors. Because let's just be honest, who asked to be here? I don't think any of us asked to be here. So that statement needs to kind of go. I wish it would really just kind of go away. I've seen, let me just say this, online, where so many adult children, mostly Gen Zs, are talking about how they've had to stop speaking to their mother or father simply because they did not do every little thing. Like I said before, they did not do every little thing right by them when they were growing up. There is no playbook to parenthood. Let's just say that. Nobody has playbook to parenthood. No parent knows how to really parent that child. It's a very specialized and individual thing. As you grow, as that child grows and you get to know that child, you can begin to nurture that child in the way that they should go. I think the missing piece to all of this is that there needs to be a certain level of grace that is given by children to their parents. And it's unfortunate. There were times, let me just be honest, there were times when in my adult life when I needed to take a breather from my mom, because mothers are going to mother. It doesn't matter, whether we like it or not. And I just feel like my mom was, she had some things and it would just get on my nerves. Let's just be honest. It would get on my nerves. And I would need to take a little breather from time to time. But it wasn't for anything that she had done in the past. It wasn't because I felt like my mom didn't do this, X, Y, Z, blah, blah. I'm going to stop talking to you. I'm going to go not contact because you did it. And let me tell you, there were things that were done to me that, nowadays, these kids, they would say it's warranted to go no contact. But I couldn't see that because I love my mom and because I know my mom loved me. And she did her best, period. That's it. She did her best. She gave what she gave, and she had our back no matter what. So one of the things, like I said, every now and then, you get on each other's nerves. I'm sure I got on her nerves as well. And there were times she had to give space to me as well. But it wasn't months, and it darn sure was not years that I did not talk to my mom. Looking hindsight and just making this video, my mom's the day that she passed away the day after my birthday, which is next Monday. So she passed away on Veterans Day. And I'm going to tell you something. Boy, I wish I could talk to my mom. Y'all out here talking about some going no contact with your parents over silly, petty stuff. You better check yourself, because if a parent has given, and in your heart, and y'all can stop playing with all of these, throwing around all of these words that you learned on social media, and you watch this podcaster say X, Y, Z, or you went to a therapist, because what you're doing is you're taking on someone else's trauma and their own experiences in what they're taking, and then you're applying it to trying to apply it to your situation, and it's not fitting. So you have to be careful in doing that. We need to be mindful of that. You young people, if any young people are watching my video, be mindful of that before you just jump on the bandwagon and join in. Make sure that you have checked off boxes and make sure that the punishment fits the crime. Let's just say that. Because a lot of y'all out here going no contact, and you don't realize, when you, and I know we love our children, I love my children, but when you sit up there and go no contact and stuff, what you're teaching with anybody, a human being, with anybody, what you're teaching them is to live their life without you. So then when you start maturing, because a lot of y'all are doing this type of mess at a young age, and when you start maturing and you try to come back and double back, people don't be wanting too much to do with you. So you have to be careful about disconnecting, going no contact, doing all these sort of things. And like I said, make sure the punishment fits the crime. If your parents haven't done anything, people are going to say things that you don't like. Not just parents, people in general are going to say things that you don't like, things that you may not agree with. But I think one of the things, like I said, one of the biggest things is that children do not give their parents a certain level of grace nowadays. And I see that the grace that I honestly feel like us as Gen Xers gave our parents. We gave our parents a certain level of grace. We did things, and had to do some things, and nothing harmful, just speaking for myself. And I'm grateful and thankful for my mom and how she protected us and kept us, in safety. There was a lot of things my mom, we didn't get to do growing up, but I don't, like I said, I didn't hold that against my mom. I didn't say, well, you didn't come to this and that, and you didn't, and you didn't. No, when I got older, it's time to take accountability. And when I became a parent, I realized that no matter what you do, it doesn't matter how much you do, there's always going to be some sort of gap. And it's not for your parents to be perfect. It's not for your parents to fit your version of perfect either. It's for your parents to get you to a place and to raise you, nurture you to a place where when you get older, you are making wise decisions. You are using discernment about who you allow in your life. And you are learning, and you are living your life at peace, in joy, and you know how, in disciplined life, obedient and disciplined life, because that's what we need, in these last and evil days. Let's just say that. And that is basically what I wanted to say. Be mindful of that. And those of you that are out here that are no contact with your parents, that have jumped on the bandwagon, you need to go back and apologize, because, parents have apologized. Like I know, a lot of us apologize for the gaps, and for the things that we didn't do, or the things that we got wrong that may have caused harm to our children and stuff like that. And then children still just acting a fool out here. So it's time out for that. We live in a world today, it's funny how that same support that your parents are willingly, and same support and love that your parents can willingly give you, and especially mothers, I'm just speaking from a mother perspective, can willingly give you, you go out there, you kind of push that away, and then you go and sit in a corner, and you go out there and you're looking for love. You're looking for that same love out there in the world, and you have to be careful of that too. So it's time to get right. You don't know when anyone's will take their last breath, and be gone up out of here. One other thing that I did want to mention, a notable mention, is if you are a parent who has separated from your child or children's other parent, and that other parent is the primary caregiver of the child, take it easy on them. Take it easy on them. Don't cause unnecessary drama, unnecessary stress, unnecessary burden on that other parent. Just take it easy on them, because they may be your ex. They're not your child's ex. They're your child's other parent, and the child loves that parent. Trust me, they love that parent. So if you're over here doing all the most and stirring up a bunch of discord and confusion and chaos all the time, and being toxic and dramatic, you don't know the pressure that you're putting on the other parent, because not only do they have to cover for you, they have to bear the brunt of that weight. And that, coming from someone who raised 3 children on my own, the brunt of that weight is heavy. And so you don't want to end up having your children's primary caregiver in the hospital sick, or, having to deal with their sickness or illness or worse, passing away because they done had a heart attack or a stroke or something, because you up there clowning and acting a fool, So that is what I wanted to say on today, and learn to love. We need to love one another more. Be kind to one another more. I'm speaking for myself as well. Be kind to one another more. Be more patient with one another, especially now with everything that's going on. People have been furloughed off their jobs, and SNAP benefits and all that stuff. People are, their food resources being threatened, and all of the things that are going on. So just be kind to one another, be patient, show love to your neighbors, smile, even if and stop being so divisive, with things. Because we're going to have to come together, and I think that's we're going to have to put aside our differences and come together for the greater good of everyone. So that is what I wanted to say. I hope that you all continue to take care of yourself, drink your water, eat your veggies, exercise, read a book, limit your social media because there's so much in the news and all of the things, and just pour into yourself positivity, and continue to be the best versions of yourself that God created you to be. Peace.